And welcome to the rescheduled round one race, which is the Spanish Grand Prix. We're here at the Circuit de Barcelona Catalunya, just outside the city of Barcelona. You might be asking yourself, why is it a rescheduled round one race when last week we completed round six? Because of the earlier PSN issues in the season, we were unable to run the Spanish Grand Prix in the Performance League, so we did arrange for it earlier on in the season to run in the mid-week season break, or mid-season 1 week break. Good evening, as always, is my partner in crime, Malk. Good evening.
Hello, Craig. How you doing?
I'm very well, and I'm looking forward to tonight's race. We've had a very explosive season in the Performance League, and certainly this 2.8 mile 16 turn circuit will I'm certainly hoping that it will provide the great racing that we've become accustomed to for the Performance League.
Yeah, same here. Because like with Catalonia being the famous track of Spain, um, it's got that perfect couple of DRS straights. Like this, especially like the third sector as well, where you got left, right, you just don't know what to do. And you got chicane as well, and it's just absolutely epic. And by the way these guys are doing at the minute, I think we might have a close battle with some of the drivers tonight, which we're hoping so. Um, so, and I think it looks like we're about to kick off now, Craig.
Yeah, certainly not hanging around here. Yeah, you just mentioned the chicane in Sector 3, it turns 14 and 15, so a lot of drivers are going to have to master that in order to get a good run down the pit straight into turn 1 with DRS open on lap 3, of course. So, a very tight grid at the moment. And I'm hoping that we might have some dry weather tonight so that we can have some spectacular racing and possibly the odd dive bomb into turn 1 and possibly
Yes,
turn 4 and 10.
yes, possibly. But is it me, or is it always this track that always gets like that mid conditions with the mixed conditions with the weather?
Certainly, I've raced in the Spanish Grand Prix where it has been mixed conditions, but also we've had full rain, full wet conditions, and certainly completely dry as well. So, certainly, the weather is very unpredictable at this circuit. There's certainly no guarantee of dry weather conditions. As we just wait for all the drivers to go to the garages, and we do have a
Ooh,
dry qualifying session at the moment,
just for now, just for now.
just for now.
Uh, Not risking it for a biscuit here, but we'll just see how it goes. I'm just saying it up. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. Last week in round six at Australia was just absolutely epic, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a spectacular race victory from Caw. Um, so he'll be looking to secure back-to-back victories, but it will be a monumentous task tonight.
Yes,
But
definitely.
it looks as if there's a few drivers opting for the medium tyre to start off with. Rossi looks to be starting on the medium tyre as well as Betrayer. So, possibly Sir Spud as well. Looks like Sir Spud's engineers have just put on the harder compound in the early stages of qualifying, as we are seeing a couple of cars going out on track. So, as I said earlier on, it's going to be a monumentous task for Core Tactics to secure back-to-back victories in this Sauber this evening.
Yeah, hopefully he'll have a big. Like you said, it's going to be difficult because it's going to be very difficult for him. But I might be wrong. He might prove us wrong tonight. But
Well, they'll certainly be down on straight line speed as well as the turn in with the Sauber as well. So a big challenge in front of Core Tactics tonight. He'll be praying for a bit of rain, I believe. But Rossi back in the McLaren this evening, currently on the medium tyre initially, sporting a new pink helmet this evening.
oh, okay. I'm just watching Sargent now do this lap. Um, this is more of
Yeah,
a two-stop, isn't it? Tonight.
I think the two stop is the safest strategy. The one stop is possible going from medium to hards, but it can leave you very vulnerable at the end of the race, or even your first stint as well. And any front wing damage can be disastrous to that strategy as Core Tactics comes through the long sweeping turn 3. So we do have an opening sector time of a 23.2 from Core Tactics, slightly down on the possible quicker cars. Just riding on board with Rossi as he just comes through that long sweeping turn 3, and it'll give us an opportunity to compare sector 1 times. 22.9, so slightly quicker than Core Tactics at the moment.
22.9 as well for Sargent as well. I'm still watching him from his qualifying lap. Would you have gone for the softs tyre tonight, or would you have gone for the medium as just to start off and then go on the softs after?
That is a big question. I think Rossi's done the right thing using the medium tyres early on. I think you might see the quicker drivers, the drivers in the quicker cars going on the soft tyres. Scott Tactics says it's a 1:22.5, so not a bad time for the Sauber at the moment, but it's certainly beatable. But I do believe that Sargent in the Haas, after his missed race last week, will be looking to secure some strong points as Sargent leaps up and takes provisional pole with a 1:22.6. Nick Thompson in the Williams, 1/10 quicker, 1:22.5. Giuseppe in the Haas, a 1:22.2. And then Jake Coop still.
Something he did it. He did a quadruple biff. I don't care. This is unbelievable. I'm sorry, Craig, for shouting, but that was just unbelievable.
But MJ Coop, I was actually practicing with him last night, and he was struggling to break into the 19s, and he's very close at the moment, but he still can't break that 1:19 duck. So a 1:20.5, very impressive, but the Saab of, the Red Bull of Saab, 3/10 down, currently in second, with Lance Stroll in the Renault in third. So MJ Coop in a very strong position early on in the qualifying session.
We have to clip that later on, Craig, on that one. That was just madness of, whoever starts first. No, Nick. No, Giuseppe. No. No, MJ Coop. Just completely gone. But that was all good laps.
Yeah, those times certainly tumbled down very quickly as we ride on board with the Williams driver Notorious. He's struggled from his return to F2 at the moment, Malk, and he'll be looking to make up for it tonight in the Performance League.
Yeah, I think, I don't know what it is, Craig, but I think since he come back to F2, he's just needs to get that momentum back up, and I'm sure he will get back onto his feet as quick as possible, which he said, hopefully with tonight, will be the biggest boost before the return of the leagues next week. We just saw Fasconi moved up to 6th, well, dropped down to 7th now. Notorious is ghosted at the minute, but I'm not sure what's happened.
I don't know if he's possibly paused or he's run out of fuel, I'm not sure. But we do have 3 drivers yet to set a time. Delange, Notorious, definitely bailed out in that, and also Mike. Nitro Gash in the Ferrari, currently on track on a hot lap at the moment.
I'll watch it with you now, Craig. He hasn't got much fuel left. He's got about 0.2.
Yeah, so I don't think he's going to get round. I think this is actually his in-lap at the moment. So he's up in 4th at the moment. He's 7/10 down on pole, and certainly a pole position possible for Nitro Gash in the Ferrari tonight.
definitely. Well, you can't write him off because he's done it twice now. Out of nowhere, he gets pole, and
Yeah,
that's
he's
on the last
certainly
year.
notorious for jumping up in season pole at the last seconds of qualifying.
Yeah, definitely.
So Sargent and Rossi are very early coming out, so possibly looking to avoid the traffic late on in qualifying. Sargent currently out on his out lap at the moment.
So I'm just watching Rossi now. But yeah, it's just going to be try and avoid all the traffic and stuff. But do you reckon we'll get the 119s tonight?
I certainly think it's possible. I'm just looking at Sargent's time, 1:21.6, a big ask to go into the 119s from there. I definitely anticipate him getting in the 120s. So I think there's still a big chunk of time to come off from Sargent's 1:21.6 at the moment. The two drivers possibly in with the best chance, possibly three drivers in with the best chance of breaking into the 19s is MJ Coupe, Saab and Nitrogash. So the 119s are still possible.
Yeah, I think Lance Stroll might do it as well, because I have to apologise from last week, because I thought he was using no assists, but he uses some assists during the races for performance, which I totally sorry about that, Lance. He did mention it to me before, but he does say he uses assists during the performance league stuff, so which is fair enough.
And Rossi has made the crossover onto his second qualifying lap, so Rossi opting for the soft tyre compound. Sargent just comes through the final few turns. He goes up the hill attacking turn 12 and 13, coming down the right hander in towards the chicane of 14 and 15. He'll be looking to get it really neat there. It's good. He puts the power down, come round turn 16, looking to get the DRS open as soon as possible. Can he improve on 90? Puts it up in fourth, so a 120.7, an improvement of 1 second.
But Rossi, he's moved up to fourth. He just managed to beat Sargent, and that was a good lap from him.
Very impressive from the McLaren driver Rossi. Currently in fourth at the moment. MJ Coupe still in the pits as Saab comes on his outlap, but Nitro's also on his outlap as well. So will MJ Coupe feel secure enough to remain in the pits, or will he come actually out the garage and cover off the competitors that are round about him?
He's got to come out now if he wants to do his lap. Because it takes about 20 seconds, doesn't it, around the pit?
About 20-30 seconds, and he does. He's actually on his outlap at the moment, so he's just coming round turn 2 at the moment as Saab begins his hot lap, just approaching turn 1, looking to get the brakes and get the car turning into turn 1 and 2. The Red Bull very mighty through this point of the lap, coming through that long sweeping right-hander.
Lance moved up to second. What a lap! I can't say it, but that was just unbelievable. I just want to say a quick word. Hello, good evening to JFM UFC. He says he's got off work early and can watch the race. He says he wants my teammate Giuseppe to win, but I'm going for a Saab win. What's your thoughts, Craig?
Sorry, Mark, but Nitrogas just approaching turn 3, runs wide, goes onto the gravel. I think that was his in-lap though, because he'd actually set a 120.8 as Sir Spud retires from the session. Three drivers yet to set a lap. Delange, as he just crosses the start-finish line at the moment, looks to go on his hot lap, as well as Notorious, who's just coming through the final corner as well, and Mike and the Toro Rosso looking to qualify on the medium tyre. Just going back to your earlier question, Mark, about Saab, I think he has a strong chance to take tonight's race victory in the Red Bull. Although it doesn't have the greatest straight line speed with the Renault power unit, he's certainly going to be mighty through the late end of sector 1. He's actually on at the moment, turn 3 and 4. Definitely sector 2 and 3. So just going to ride on board with Sab at the moment, looking to challenge for pole position. As MJ Cooper's also on track at the moment, just coming up the hill.
I was just watching MJ Coop now, Craig. And he's got in front of a Mercedes car, I don't know, McLaren car. I don't know what car it is anymore. And I've lost the plot. But we'll see MJ Coop. Oh, he lost it a little bit there, but he might hold on. He's going past in the third sector. This is the beautiful couple of corners there. He's got to get perfect with the chicane here. Lovely jubbly on this. And he gets the long straight. He's got to get within. Oh, he's just 2/10 off. But will Sab do it?
Yeah, Sab just coming through turn 16 at the moment, very neat and tidy. Through sector 3, it doesn't improve on third. So he remains on third. He is on the clean side of the track though, so he'll get a good run into turn 1, attacking Lance Stroll in the Renault, and possibly get a bit of tow from the Mercedes of MJ Coupe ahead.
Yeah, definitely. Some good laps there, Craig. Out of nowhere.
Certainly very tight from 1st to 9th, all in the 120s, so we didn't see the 119s this evening, but very close on track between the first 9 drivers, and then we've got a 2/10 gap between Nitrogash and Giuseppe, but again impressive from Delange, up in 11th in the McLaren, while teammate Rossi puts it up in 5th with a 120.7. So certainly Rossi, although maybe not securing the race win, certainly in with a strong shout of getting a podium finish tonight. But I think the big question mark will be Fascone, currently in 4th in Red Bull. We do know that he qualifies very strongly. The big question is, can he convert it into strong points, possibly a podium? So big question mark over Fascone tonight.
Yeah, I think with form he does well in qualifying, Craig, but I don't like him with the commentator's curse, but he has been really unlucky. And I think he should have won at least once in the last few races, I believe. But in regarding to what Fascone can do in 4th, I reckon he'll get mid-table.
Well, he's going to come under a lot of pressure from Sargent and Rossi, slightly behind.
Yeah,
so he's going to have to watch his wing mirrors early on the race.
Yeah, that's what I need to worry about and stuff, but hopefully that will challenge. Hopefully Fascone will hold on.
So your qualifying results are: MJ Coupe takes tonight's pole, Lance Stroll in 2nd, Sab 3rd, Fascone 4th, Rossi 5th, Sargent 6th, Notorious 7th, 8th is McLugby, 9th is Nitrogash, 10th is Giuseppe, 11th is Delange, 12th is Nick Thompson, 13th is Mike. COD Tactics after last week's race win is 14th. Sir Spud in 15th with Betrayer down in 16th. I wonder if we're going to see a Betrayer special starting from the back of the grid and securing podium or possibly 4th or 5th.
I reckon he will tonight because he did absolutely fantastic last week.
And he was very impressive in Monza as well, starting at the back of the grid. But with Monza being a guaranteed one-stop race, and he was on the Williams as well, so I think it'll be a bit tougher tonight with a 2-stop strategy, or he could go for a one-stop, hoping to get to make up a few. Yep. So we could possibly go for that strategy. Or if he's feeling very adventurous, going for the hards onto the softs at the end.
I think with the hards, I think they might be within about, is it 20 laps? 18 to 20 laps? Fresh? Possibly? 18 to 20 laps?
Yeah, I certainly think you can take them up to the late teens, possibly early 20s. looking to possibly do 12, 13 laps on the soft tyre. So we're just waiting for the drivers to select the strategies on the grid, and we'll get the formation lap underway.
Yeah, definitely. It'll be very interesting to see how the guys from the bottom half, as well as we talked about with Betrayer. I mean, what about Spud? What about Core? Will they go for the hard tyre? Will they go for the soft tyre to try and avoid, try at least get a bit of a head start before? But we'll have to wait and see how it goes tonight. But
who would you say is your driver to watch tonight then, Mark? Who do you think's going
driver to watch? It's the difference between Sab and Sarge, I think.
I'm going to stick my neck out and go for Rossi.
You go for Rossi?
I'm going to go for Rossi for the driver to watch tonight.
Ooh. Place your bets, please. We'll find out now.
So as we're just waiting to join the drivers on track, 4 seconds remain to the race start, and we will get the formation lap underway, and it will give us our first insight into seeing what tyres the drivers are actually going to be on. So the only driver to go on the hards is Sir Spud, down in 15th. So possibly looking to go for that one-stop strategy, Mark.
Yeah, I think because that's what he likes doing. He prefers to do with the one-stops lately. Just try and avoid all, with the traffic and collisions and stuff. But it'll be a very hard task for him if he tries to get there quick. We'll have to find out. But of course, going for the soft tyre, as well as Delange, who are in the bottom half.
Yeah, I think they could possibly feel that there's positions to make up at the start of the race, possibly looking for a good start off the line into turn 1, possibly making up the odd position or two.
Yeah, hopefully. Nick, Mike and Betrayer have all gone for the medium tyre. Do you think, in your position, if you was there, Craig, do you think that was a good choice, or do you think you would have gone for the hard tyre and then soft at the end?
I think it's a tough call if you're in 12th, 13th and 14th, you've got drivers behind you. Because although you want to go a bit longer than the drivers ahead, you don't really want to lose too much ground to the drivers behind. You don't want to be losing too much time defending and burning those tyres away. So I think it's the safest bet to go for the medium tyre on those grid slots. But it could be an interesting battle develop between Nick and Mike tonight, both on the same tyre. We do know that the Williams does struggle with turning and a bit of understeer, and looking at last night's practice, it looks as if Mike had his Toro Rosso set up very sweetly. So Mike could also be a driver to watch for early on in the race.
This is great. This is the excitement of the F1 and Performance League, because you just do not know what to expect. And the best drivers, ban out against everyone else and on the wrong tyres. But we got 4 lights, 5 lights, and it's go!
Oh, and it's a good start from the Renault driver Lance Stroll as he gets ahead of MJ Coupe going into turn 1. That allows the Red Bull of Saab to pull up alongside. That looks as if it's Sargent, so Sargent moves up to 4th. It looks as if there's contact in the back field of a Toro Rosso. I might have been Betrayer, I think. Looks as if Sargent's on the inside, moving into turn 4. Can he get the move done in MJ Coupe? It looks as if it does. MJ Coupe runs wide. So Sargent's certainly on the move.
No! He's dropped. No, he's... Oh, please, pick a position. This is a... Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
Yeah, Sergeant backed out a little bit, wanted to avoid contact and they run up the hill, but that's allowed the Red Bull of Saab to close down. Sergeant has a little look on the inside at turn 10 and thinks better of it, but Rossi back up to 5th after losing out early on the race to Fast Going.
Oh my god. Core Tactics has moved up to, it was moved
yeah,
to
Core Tactics and Notorious are trading positions at the moment.
Oh, I don't know who that was at the back. I think that might be Spud.
So Lance Stroll starting to open up a little bit of a gap, Mark. Gap now 0.4 of a second, but MJ Coupe will have the pace on the straight line.
Oh my god! Oh my god! 3 cars! Whoa! What the hell? We've got 2 cars. We have got a serious lag situation here.
Yeah, not sure what's happening here. It looks as if the Haas was actually climbing, literally, over the back of the Force India, and that is continuing.
Whoa!
So certainly issues between the Haas and the Force India at the moment.
I am not commenting in any further way with these 2 cars, but it was just some weird. Whoa!
Yeah, not sure what was happening there.
Giuseppe lost the car there. Lance Stroll still pulling away with 5/10.
Oh, Nitro has a little look down the inside of Fast Going at turn 10. Runs wide, that allows Fast Going to actually come back through. And that's allowed Nick Thompson, the Williams, he tried to dive up the hill, but he ran wide. That allowed the Lange and the McLaren to move up to 9th. So Nick Thompson gaining and losing at the same time, and it's very close in the midfield.
Yeah, but Rossi might close in on Saab. Please be a 2-bed. No? No? Okay, we'll wait for the next one. Come on. So we've got Michael.
And Delange was struggling through turn 1 and 2. That allows Nick Thompson to close down the gap to Delange, but he just can't get close enough for any overtaking possibility in turn 4.
Giuseppe and Notorious are in the pits. Not sure what happened there.
I think that would possibly front wing damage early on the race. He is switching over to the hard tyre now, Mark. So Giuseppe looking to go long, possibly changing back onto soft late on in the race.
Yeah, possibly. We have got 4-car battle here, Craig. 4 from 11th.
But Nitro Gas, sorry to interrupt, Mal, but Nitro Gas is a great exit out of turn 9 with DRS, allows to close down Fast Going, goes up the inside, up in turn 11 and 12, so Nitro Gas moves up to 7th, so Fast Going dropping down the order early on the race.
No, I'm sorry about that, Craig, but Core Tactics has passed Mike, and it was a fantastic move. We've got... Oh my god, we have got 4 cars battling out, coming out from 11th place. And I don't know what I'm saying after this. Oh my god.
Yeah, we've definitely got the Nitro Gas train on the run down to turn 1. Fast Going slightly behind. Yeah, it looks as if he broke late there. That allowed Delange and the McLaren to close him down. The McLaren with the chassis will be certainly mighty at this point in the lap. But Fast Going all over the back of Nitro Gas in the Ferrari at turn 4. Nitro Gas runs wide, the Red Bull turning in a bit sharper. Can we see a dive into turn 5, possibly turn 6 before we run up the hill? Oh, Nitro Gas runs slightly wide on the AstroTurf, will certainly be struggling for traction there.
Yeah, we're going to go to Saab. Saab's closing in on Sarge. But...
I don't think he's close enough for any attempt into turn 10 there, Malk. But Rossi's just biding his time, 4/10 behind Saab and Sargent slightly ahead. So Rossi just looking for any mistake from the 2 drivers ahead.
Well, we're hoping so. Because this is intense moments here, Craig. Oh, Craig,
yeah, Betrayer on the move there, moves up to 12th. So Betrayer moves up 4 positions as Mike runs wide and concedes that place to Sir Spuddy. Didn't want to come back on track there, causing an incident. But yeah, it looks like Notorious was possibly in an incident early on in the race as well. He's actually dropped down to 15th.
Oh, Sarge lost out to Sam. But Sarge
Yeah,
ain't giving up here.
that looks as if it's down at turn 1 and 2 as we come through the long right hand of turn 4.
Nitro, Fascone. Calm down. Oh! I don't know what to say.
Oh, Nitro runs wide. That's down at turn 5. And that's allowed Nick Thompson, the Williams, to move up a position, but Betrayer as well, trying to close down in 11th. So disaster for Nitro Gas, yelling on the race, down in 10th, but coming through turn 9, it looks as if he was struggling with understeer, running very wide onto the AstroTurf.
Yeah. We've got a close-in of Lance and MJ Coop for battle for the first place at the minute.
Yeah, a good opportunity for MJ Coop to get the toe on the run down to turn 1, as well as DRS. Lance Stroll goes defensive on the inside. MJ Coop doesn't move across to pick up the toe. Will he regret that into turn 1? Oh, he's not close enough to make the move, but Sargent's going to come under pressure from Rossi in 5th position as we come through turn 1 and 2. And Delange is putting pressure on Fascone coming round turn 3. So we've got battles up and down the grid at the moment. We've got a fight for P1 and 2, 3 and 4 plus 5. We've got a battle for 7th and 8th.
7th, 8th, 9th, 10th. It's just unbelievable.
Oh, Fascone runs wide, turn 5. That allows the lines to close right up in his gearbox as we come up 6 and 7 up the hill.
Oh my God, he hasn't got the...
Yeah, he doesn't have the straight line speed to get close to that Red Bull coming up to turn 10. So Delange could possibly have to do this under braking. He just can't get close enough to that Red Bull at the moment.
Nigel Gus has got a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Still watching Delange closing in on Fascone.
And MJ Coop is still struggling to get past Lance Stroll. Lance Stroll's still in the lead by 0.3 of a second as we come through turn 3.
What would you say the lap is for the soft tyre to come in, for the top 10?
I think if it's a standard 2-stop strategy, you could be possibly looking for drivers coming in at 9 and 10, possibly 11, if they want to take it a little bit further. I think if they're going to do the 1-stop onto hards, possibly 14.
14. Oh.
So we might see drivers like MJ Coop, Saab, Delange going for the undercut if that is going to be the standard 2-stop strategy. Delange looks to be dropping off a little bit to Fascone. The gap now 0.7 of a second as Mike retires from the race. Yeah, I don't think he felt as if he had any pace in that Toro Rosso, and he has went into the pit lane and retired.
I'm still watching MJ Coop, Lance Stroll, Craig.
Yeah, MJ Coop got a decent exit there, although he did jump the curb slightly at the chicane. Oh, he's got the best opportunity he's had for a while. Moves to the inside at turn 1. Yeah, he's got the move done, but Lance Stroll won't want to give this position up too easily.
What a move!
So MJ Coop moves up to P1 on lap 8 of the Spanish Grand Prix.
That is a great move from MJ Coop. Rossi nearly closed in on Sarge, but he's dropping a little bit down. I don't know if it's because of his tyres or what, I do not know, but this will be very interesting to see if he might go. I reckon he'll go for the hards, Craig. I think Rossi.
I think Rossi's known to be or do something differently. So yeah, I think you might see Rossi go for the 1-stop.
because. But,
Oh,
Sarge went on gravel.
Sargent runs wide at the exit in turn 9, but that Haas car does have greater straight line speed, and it allows him to maintain 4th position. So he knew the McLaren isn't very sleek in a straight line, so Sargent gets out of jail a little bit there.
Would Haas believe it? Okay, that was bad. I will do that again. Lance Stroll's pitted now.
Yep, Saab moves up to second, 3.1 seconds behind the race leader. And Rossi and Sargent both stay out on lap 9 as well. So both drivers continuing this battle, but it's now for P3 and 4. He's getting caught up in the dirty air of the Haas ahead, struggling to turn that McLaren in. So certainly losing a bit of time coming through turn 3 there.
Yeah, hopefully doesn't want to lose a bit more because of that battle with Sarge. I reckon his tyre wear is a little bit down than what he's expecting. He's probably, like you say, lap 14, would you say, for the hards? Again?
Possibly 13, 14 if you can stretch fresh hards to 20 laps, but he'll have to watch himself if Sargent's on a 2-stop strategy. He doesn't want to be held up too much because Meg Lugby's only 2.9 seconds behind in the Force India, and he will be closing very quickly.
It's going to be very interesting moments here.
It's going to be interesting, Mark, to see who blinks first between Sargent and Rossi. And they both, Rossi saw the Haas of Sargent go into the pits, and this is going to be a straight fight. It'll be interesting to see what tyres both drivers go onto. So I'm just keeping an eye on the telemetry to see what tyres the drivers opt for. It looks as if both drivers going for the medium tyre, so 2-stop strategy from Haas and McLaren at the moment. MJ Coupe did stay out, so looking to go long on his initial run on the soft as we are on lap 10. Saab also staying out as well as Meg Lugby. Delange looking to go long as well.
Just watching Spud was closed in on core.
Apologies, Malk. I thought Sargent actually went on the medium as well, but Sargent is actually on the hard tyre while Rossi's on the medium, so Sargent possibly looking to go to the end of this race, whereas Rossi will have to pit again.
It's alright, Craig, I'll let you off. Don't worry. Don't worry.
So Rossi's going to have to get this move done and hopefully open up the gap between himself and Sargent.
But he's two guys. Sorry, Craig, I didn't mean to interrupt there.
No, please carry on, Malk.
Petraea and Lance, both good friends off the track as well. These were having a good battle here going on, Craig, for lap 11 of the Spanish Grand Prix. But Lance will have the fresher tyre than Petraea. Saab and Delange and Meg Lugby have all pitted.
Sorry to interrupt you there, Mark, but Rossi was all over the back of Sargent, come out the chicane at turn 15 and 14, and he does have DRS. It looks as if he's going to get the move done into turn 1, so Rossi moves ahead of Sargent finally on different tyre strategies, and Rossi will have to start opening up the gap between himself and Haas driver Sargent.
Yeah, he'll have to open the gap because I think it is 20 seconds, isn't it, normally? For the pit
I think it's a 23-second pit stop.
23 seconds. So, do you think Rossi will get 23 seconds between him and Sarge to get another free pit stop?
I think it's going to be a tough ask. It doesn't look as if he's opening the gap too much, but as we come through turn 9 on the DRS zone 2, the Haas will have DRS available. It doesn't look as if he closed them down too much. The big tail will be on the run down to turn 1 to see if Sargent can close down that McLaren. I do expect it he will, But Rossi's going to have to open up the gap on the turns, the more technical part of the lap, and look to eventually open up a gap. But I don't think Rossi has to look for all 23 seconds here. If he's going to go and pit again, I think he'll go for the soft tyre. So with Sargent's hard tyres degrading, Rossi could catch Sargent late on in the race.
Could be. Make a look, P. No. Oh my god! Oh my god, make look, he's past Delange. Giuseppe's got a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. I'm going to go back to Spud.
Just a quick good evening to Mike, who joins us for tonight's commentary after tonight's retirement.
Good evening, Mike.
Commiserations there, Mike. Oh, and there's a little love tap which sends Spud wide coming out of turn 2. So Core Tactics and Spud having a good ding dong battle there. Certainly a little knock of the wheels.
Yeah. Ding dong. Ah, it's like that advert for that Bud Light, isn't it? Have you ever seen that one, Craig? The new one.
I don't think so.
It was like dilly 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 dong. I don't know what I'm saying next. Probably think I've gone mad. Sam's got the quickest time of 1:23.2. We might have Asconi closing in on Sarge.
Sorry to interrupt there, Malk, but MJ Coop has pitted and he's went on the hard tyres. That's allowed Lance Stroll on the mediums to move up to P2, just behind Nick Thompson, who's yet to pit, I believe. Nick Thompson, who I believe started on the mediums early on in the race, so Lance Stroll looking to move up to P1 and defend against MJ Coop currently in P3.
Nick and Betrayer are the only ones who have not pitted, Craig. They're the only ones who have not pitted.
So Lance Stroll currently net P1 at the moment. He'll be hoping that Nick Thompson could go a little bit longer, get the move done and almost use Nick Thompson's car as a buffer between himself and the Mercedes of MJ Coop slightly behind.
Yeah, Fasconi's closing right in on Sargent now. This is unbelievable stuff. Oh, Spud and Core. Core's brought it back in. I don't know what happened there, but...
Oh, sorry to interrupt you there, Mal, but Lance Stroll moved to the inside on the run down into turn 1. So Lance Stroll ahead with DRS, gets a move done in fresher mediums against Nick Thompson. So utilising DRS to get that move done. And they'll be looking to open up the gap here using Nick Thompson as a buffer to the Mercedes driver slightly behind who looks to be on the one-stop strategy.
Oh, we had three overtakes in one go, Craig. You just saw Lance, Nick, Saab, Betrayer, and now Fasconi and Sargent. This is unbelievable. Oh, please, more.
And it looks as if Nick Thompson could actually lose out P2 to MJ. Oh, MJ Coop runs wide! He runs wide in turn 9, but he managed to recover it. I thought that was going to end in disaster. Certainly,
oh my God,
heart and mouth moment in there for MJ Coop, who was pushing. He was certainly pushing the hard tyre there.
Yeah, heart attack. It'll be a heart attack on this. Oh my God. We might have 3 cars battling out for second place.
That looks as if that's Nick Thompson going into the pits. So Nick Thompson possibly going for the one-stop strategy as well. It'll be interesting to see when he comes back out on track as MJ Coop keeps a gap to Saab and behind in the Red Bull, making a little bit of headway with DRS, but MJ Coop still holds on to that 6/10 of a second lead.
Yeah, sorry about that, Craig. If you touch the white the white lines, correct me if I'm wrong, you lose a bit of that control of the car, don't you, sometimes?
Sometimes you do lose a bit of traction. Certainly in the wet, there is a risk of losing the rear of the car as well. So possibly losing a bit of traction and grip as well. For turning, sometimes you do have to lift slightly. So Saab's going to have to be very careful of that in the dirty air coming round turn 3, not looking to run too wide and possibly picking up a time penalty.
Possibly. Just trying to see.
But
Oh my God,
MJ
MJ Coop's
Coop
gone wide.
ran very wide there at turn 13. So that'll make Saab feel very invited for a little opportunistic move, possibly in sector 3. So we begin to run down to turn 1. Saab will have DRS. MJ Coop goes defensive on the inside, begins to move back onto the racing line as we approach the braking zone. Certainly that Red Bull. Saab can brake much later on the medium tyre as well. Saab looking to keep it very tight coming through turn 3 and does. Is still closing down the Mercedes of MJ Coop. Can he get the move done in the run into turn 5 down the hill? MJ Coop likes to run wide there, carrying the pace round the outside of the corner. Goes wide at the apex, but Saab just can't get any closer at the moment. So MJ Coop using the Mercedes power unit to the best of his advantage. But it'll be interesting to see, can MJ Coop hold it on the line? Saab struggling with understeer. As we've got yellow flags in sector 3, I think that's a retirement from Nitrogash.
Yeah. I just want to say another good evening to Mike again. Apparently he says Lance has 1 stop to go. Coop will go to the end with the hards, and Lance will lose due to his strategy. What do you think of that, Craig?
Yeah, I think that's a fair comment. MJ Coop will be looking to go to the end of the race unless he receives front wing damage or anything like that. So MJ Coop will have to be very careful to look after the hard tyres, and Lance Stroll and Saab will definitely need to pit again. There's no way that they can take those medium tyres to the end of the race.
No, but alright, here's a question for you now, Craig. I reckon Lance will go on to the mediums, or possibly softs, depending how further he can go with the mediums. But do you think he'll catch up to MJ Coop if he has the chance?
I don't.
Was that too hard to ask?
Yeah, I think that's no. I don't think he'll actually catch MJ Coop. To be honest with you, but he'll have to be aware of Sargent, who looks to also be going to the end of the race. So Sargent could theoretically move up to P2 with his strategy, but MJ Coop and both Sargent could be vulnerable to drivers and fresh tyres when the hard tyres are absolutely screaming at the end of the race.
Mike said Lance will try maybe to go SMS, not text message, before anyone asks. But it says we can't make up the gap, I think. It says the fastest strategy tonight is medium hards. I would agree with that. But how would you feel if you started on softs and then that happened? So whoever was on the mediums or hards tonight is just a fantastic opportunity. And
I think if you're Lance Stroll or Saab, the most sensible option is to try and take the mediums long and cross over to the soft tyre around about lap 20 or 21, so that you can actually maximise that tyre. Looking to catch him, but Rossi having a little look on the outside of Betrayer. Betrayer yet to pit, I believe, on the mediums.
I think he's the only one.
So Betrayer,
yeah, he's the only one.
Yeah, Betrayer definitely taking these mediums longer than expected. And that's allowing Rossi to put a lot of pressure on him when they run down to turn 10. Well, we see Rossi make a dive, he thinks better of it. He knows that Betrayer could be pitting very soon, but Rossi won't want to be hanging about too long with fast going on the soft tyre slightly behind.
Yeah, you don't want to stay too long. Mike says, look at Lance now, he can't pull away. and he's still within the 2-second barrier of this.
So Betrayer staying out for another lap. Ross is right behind them. He'll have DRS, but also so does Fascoin in the Red Bull.
Oh, what a move!
Oh, Rossi gets it done under braking in the run to turn 1. So certainly utilising those fresher tyres.
Oh, Betrayer's really struggling.
Yeah, and I think I'm actually getting inaccurate data from the telemetry as well, Malk. Riding on board with Rossi, I could actually see him on the soft tyre, but the telemetry is indicating he's on the mediums. So not really sure. Not sure. So it does look as if he's on the mediums for yourself.
Yeah. Don't worry. Yeah, it's on the mediums on my screen. We might have some technical difficulties, guys. We do apologise for that. We can't control it, but we do apologise for any technical difficulties. And we'll see if there's any Fasconi Betrayer battle for the DRS straight.
I'm wondering if Betrayer is looking to take these medium tyres for another lap or two, then looking to go into the soft. So that's a very bold strategy from Betrayer if that's the approach he takes. And he does pit now. So yeah, I'll keep an eye on what tyre he crosses over to. But if he crosses over to the soft, a very, very bold strategy from Betrayer tonight.
I would have gone hard and then just to be on the safe side and stuff. But
And he does go in the soft tyre, Milk. So a very aggressive one-stop strategy from Betrayer. But MJ Coupe looks to be struggling for grip on the corners, and that's allowing Saab to close down the Mercedes slightly ahead.
I just had a comment from Mike. We apologise for CM. Beep. Lol. That beep, you'll understand what I mean after. Yeah, so we will not repeat that in any way, fashion. So we do apologise for any technical difficulties. So we go back to Saab, closing on MJ Coupe now. But
yeah, I'm expecting Saab to be coming into the pits as well as Lance Stroll the next 2 or 3 laps.
No,
Lance Stroll does pit, so I'm certain that'll be a crossover to the soft tyre. I don't think he'll go for the medium.
You reckon soft?
I reckon he'll go soft. No, he doesn't. He stays on medium, so he's looking to go on the tyre to be least degradable. So possibly thinking the soft would fall off there at the end.
Lance just get in front of Sarge.
Yeah, and that's definitely important there for championship points. So I'm expecting Lance Stroll to open up the gap to Sargent behind on the hard tyre.
Oh my god, Betrayer's on fire. Oh my god, he's closing in on Fasconi now. Those soft tyres will need a bit of a kick in, which he does at the minute.
Yeah, closing down Fasconi very quickly as Saab continues to close down MJ Coupe. The gap now 9/10 of a second as we come round the chicane at turns 14 and 15. MJ Coupe runs wide again, so MJ Coupe really struggling for grip on the hard tyres at the moment as we begin lap 22 of 33 of the Spanish Grand Prix.
I mean, when did he pit it? Was it lap 11?
I think it was round about lap 11 and 12, but he's really struggling for grip coming out the corners as Betrayer is all over the back of Fasconi. As we just come through the chicane, Betrayer looking to get a good exit. He will have DRS on against the Red Bull, but will that Toro Rosso get him past the Red Bull driver before turn 1?
I don't know. But he looks, he's got good strides.
Yeah, he's got good straight line speed, but I don't think he's close enough to make a move into turn 1. Has a little look, but he's too far behind.
Another comment from Mike. He says Coop has it in the bag if he doesn't make a mistake. What's your comment on that, Craig?
Yeah, I certainly think that's a fair comment. He's got a 12, 17, say 18-second gap to Lance Stroll on the fresh mediums. MJ Coop just has to keep it clean. He just needs to watch that he doesn't receive any time penalties, which would bring Lance Stroll back into play.
Yeah. See how that goes, but we're still seeing Betrayer closing in on Mascoli. He doesn't want to spend too long on the back because that will ruin his tyres massively.
Yeah, he's certainly not getting the full advantage of that fresh rubber being stuck behind the Red Bull of Fasconi. So Lance Stroll's certainly on the move as he sets the fastest lap of a 1:22.6. Fascon runs wide, certainly he's going to be picking up dirt on his tyres. Betrayer looking to get the move done. He's went to the inside in the run down to turn 1. He's got DRS and he has control of the corner. So Betrayer gets the move done under DRS conditions, and that will free up Betrayer to chase down Nick Thompson 4 seconds ahead, who is on the hard tyre. So Nick Thompson could come under pressure from Betrayer.
Don't betray him. You need to give him the place. That's it. Mike said, poor Spud. I do feel sorry for Spud because he's had another bad race again. I'm hoping he'll get that boost back up for the next one for Brazil, or try and at least get some more positions moved up. Apparently Coop's got a 3-second time penalty, so
just as you were talking there, Malk, Saab has come into the pits as well as Rossi. Saab crossing over to the soft tyre, that moves Lance Stroll back up to P2. Rossi coming in, it looks as if he's crossing over onto the soft, so Rossi and Saab are going to be very quick at the end of the race, but Saab gets out just ahead of Sargent, and that's certainly important for Saab's championship hopes here tonight.
Yeah, Rossi's just got in front of Betrayer, who was flying at the minute.
Yeah, but Rossi's tyres could be a bit, well, they will be a bit colder to Betrayers, who's actually been on the soft tyres for a couple of laps, so they'll certainly be up to race temperature. So if Betrayers get any chance of passing Rossi, it has to be early on, while Rossi's trying to get these soft tyres up to temperature. The gap currently 17.2 seconds between P1 and P2 at the moment.
Knock off 3 seconds, Craig. So depending on if Lance hasn't got any penalties, he needs to get 14 seconds in the next 8 laps.
8 laps.
Yeah, 8 laps, sorry.
He's got it down to 17 flat. A little bit oversteer there from Rossi as he was just coming through the chicane. He won't want to be fighting too much oversteer because he'll be burning up those tyres.
Spud! Oh, I thought you'd done it then. Oh my god. We might go back to Rossi in a bit. But Spud's closing in.
Nick Thompson could possibly come in under pressure from both McLaren and Toro Rosso drivers, Rossi and Betrayer, as we come through turn 4. So Nick Thompson under pressure in the Williams and the hard tyre at the moment as we come downhill into turn 5. Nick Thompson certainly feeling the pressure.
What pressure? What pressure? It'll be like, under pressure, pushing down on me. Sorry.
Oh, Rossi right on the gearbox of the Williams, moves to the inside of turn 1, gets it done under brake. Rossi moves back up to P5 and looks to chase Sargent for P4, 7 seconds ahead.
Spud, what a move! Giuseppe! Oh no! He lost his car. I'm not sure exactly what happened there. But boy, oh boy.
Sorry to interrupt you there, Mal, but Betrayer's got a great run on on Nick Thompson as we approach turn 1. He does have DRS. Nick Thompson goes defensive and inside. Betrayer looks round the outside, but Nick Thompson too far ahead to allow Betrayer an overtaking opportunity.
Yeah. Sargent's pitted for soft tyre. I thought he would have gone on the hards to the end.
Yeah, I thought that myself. Maybe just wants a little bit of fun setting the fastest lap.
Possibly. Oh, Nick's just a little bit glass off there. But this may bring Betrayer into play.
And as we're following, sorry Mark, but as we're following this battle, Lance Stroll gets the gap down to 15.8 seconds between himself and MJ Coupe.
I would say about 12 seconds now because of that 3-second time penalty, Craig.
So Lance Stroll certainly not giving up on this race victory at the moment. We've got a 3-second penalty for Sir Spud down in P12 as he's battling Notorious for P12 at the moment. Yeah, that's true. Got Tactics 0.2 of a second slightly ahead. So Sir Spud gets a great exit from turn 4, looking to get moved on at turn 5, runs wide.
Go back to Betrayer, Fasconi battle.
Yeah, there's a 3-way battle between Nick Thompson, Betrayer and Fasconi for P5. Just coming round turn 4.
Oh, Spud! Spud! Oh, throw it there! Come on! You can do it! Oh my god! No! We might have a 3-car battle here, Craig, for 11th place. But we want to get back to Betrayer for Fasconi in a bit. Oh, he's got a beautiful exit there. So Spud's course going for the defensive move there, but he's going back into the racing line. Yeah,
it looks as if he's really struggling with straight line speed against that Sauber. Goes a little bit deep under the braking, compromises his entry into turn 1. But Sir Spud all over the gearbox of COD Tactics ahead. Oh, gets a move done in turn 3.
No! What? Oh, yes! No!
But COD Tactics looks to come back up to turn 4. There's a slight bit of COD Tactics, sends COD Tactics off into the wall.
Oh, Betrayer! Oh, I thought he might have done it there. Oh my god, Craig. Oh my god, this is intense.
Yeah, great opportunistic move there from Sir Spud. He saw the Sauber of COD Tactics run wide through turn 3. Looked as if Spud went a bit deep in turn 4. That allowed COD Tactics to have a little look on the inside, attack the apex a bit more than Sir Spud. And Sir Spud moved across slightly and there was contact between the cars, and that knocked COD Tactics off, making contact with the barrier on the right hand side.
Yeah, but don't get me wrong, Craig, there was a bit of lag from obviously from the earlier cars, so Giuseppe and the other Haas car. It was just weird stuff, but we have another 3-car battle for Nick, Betrayer and Fasconi. We please, come on.
Yeah, a great exit there from Betrayer out of turn 15 and turn 16.
Side by side tournament. Oh yes. Get in, you beauty.
So Betrayer moves up to P5 with the assistance of DRS and gets it done under braking as well into turn 1. But Fasconi all over the back of Nick Thompson, has a little look on the inside of the run between turn 3 and 4. Nick Thompson just shuts the door.
Nick's saying, look, Pascali, no, you're not passing me, sunshine. That's it. What a move. Oh my god, what a move.
Meg Lugpay all over the back of Sargent as well. The gap 7/10 of a second. So Sargent could actually lose out and move down to P9. Both drivers on the soft tyre, but it's a battle between Force India and Haas.
Would you Haas believe it?
So Betrayer starting to open up the gap between himself and Nick Thompson. The gap 3.8 seconds. So certainly Betrayer was being held up there from the Williams driver.
But Pascali's got a good exit there.
He's got the toe. He's got the toe from the Williams on the run down to turn 1 DRS, and I think Nick Thompson goes defensive on the inside.
Oh.
Fasconi utilising the Red Bull coming through turn 3. Will he make a move on the inside of turn 3? Oh, he's got it done in the. Oh, he's got it done in turn 4. So Fasconi moves up to P6.
No, Nick's closing in. Molly. Oh
no, I think with the soft tyre, Fasconi should be safe. And P6 at the moment.
Yeah, well, with the medium tyres you should have, yeah. I tell you what, Craig, we've got a few laps left. What do you think of the race?
It's been a good race so far. I certainly think there's still more to come. Saab starting to close down Lance Stroll, the gap 3 seconds now, but Nick Thompson not giving up on P6. Although he's struggling in a harder tyre compound, he's not giving up and fast going at the moment.
No, he's doing well to hold, to keep trying battle it out with Pascali. But he's got to make the move within the next lap or so.
Yeah, he can't afford to let the Red Bull of Fasconi get ahead too much, breaking that DRS, because the Williams is certainly struggling in the corners. So really struggling with understeer at the moment compared to the Red Bull of Fasconi and on the soft tyre. The medium tyre.
It's alright, Craig. I'll let you off. Don't worry. Oh God.
So Saab still closing down Lance Stroll, the gap now 2.4 seconds. So we're actually on the penultimate lap of the Spanish Grand Prix. MJ Coupe holds on to a 14.8 second lead from Lance Stroll, with Saab currently 2.5 seconds behind, and third with Rossi, and fourth 15 seconds behind Saab. But the question is, will we see an overtake between Betrayer and Fasconi? The gap just over a second. It looks as if Betrayer's trying to hold on to breaking the DRS from himself and Fasconi.
Yeah, try to break it away from there, Craig. Mike says, I told you Coupe has it. This would be a major coup for him. That's it. Just unbelievable. Don't get me wrong, Craig. MJ Coupe, this is a major coup for him tonight. It was just a fantastic drive from him as well. Lance, I thought he might have closed in stuff, but I thought he would have gone for the soft. But I think he may because of avoided with the tyre situation and stuff.
Yeah, I think he just thought, go for the more durable tyre. Make sure I just get to the end, not wanting to risk any softs degrading too quickly. But one thing I've noticed between Fasconi and Betrayer, Fasconi managing to catch Betrayer coming through the downforce dependent elements of the track. He's all over the back of Betrayer, as we come through turn 14 and 15. So one final chance for fast going as we come through turn 16, approaching the DRS zone. Betrayer slightly ahead, the gap 0.4 of a second. Can fast going get close enough? Maybe not here, but certainly later in the lap.
He's got to do it within the next few corners.
And the big question as well, Mark, will time penalties come into play here between Betrayer and fast going?
Possibly. I know there was a few penalties between. I don't know if Rossi had a penalty. I can't remember now. But I know there's a few drivers who had penalties tonight.
Sorry to interrupt you there, Mark. We're just jumping on board with your race winner, MJ Coupe, as he approaches the finish line. The checkered flag is out for MJ Coupe. It's a win for the Mercedes driver. MJ Coupe is the Renault driver. Lance Stroll just come through turn 16 and looks to take second, where Saab will take third.
Vascani? There was side by side with Betrayer, and Nick has brought in this now. Oh my god! Betrayer's losing the tyre grip.
Yeah, fast going looked as if he was a bit early on. The power ran into the back of Betrayer. That allows Nick Thompson to make a move. Will he get it? I think. It looks as if Nick Thompson just lost out.
Yeah.
But another great performance from Delange in the McLaren, claiming the last championship point tonight.
He's done well. That was a good drive from him as well. I tell you what, this was absolutely fantastic racing tonight, Craig. And obviously the current championship leader, a championship from winner last season of Delange, getting the last point of the race tonight.
Yeah, so Delange will be hoping for a decent car in Brazil so that he can actually challenge for strong points and continuing his defence of his title. But MJ Coupe takes the top step in Spain, and he was followed by Renault driver Lance Stroll, who takes P2. Saab will take third, with Rossi taking fourth. Betrayer takes fifth. Fascoin takes sixth. Nick Thompson 7th, Sargent 8th, McLoughlin 9th, Delange 10th, Sir Spud misses out in that final championship point, claims 11th, Notorious takes 12th, Kotak takes 13th, and the remainder of the grid retired from the race. So another spectacular race from the Performance League. Certainly there was moments that we might have to review, certainly the moments of lag, to see if there's anything we can do to reduce that.
Yeah, definitely.
So we will move on to South America next week for the Brazilian Grand Prix. Certainly a firm favourite of myself. I'll be looking forward to the Brazilian Grand Prix. Another track with unpredictable weather conditions, where we can get an absolute monsoon or we can get absolutely blistering weather. So drivers will certainly have to prepare for that ahead of next week's race. Any final comments from yourself tonight, Mark?
Fantastic racing, as always, Craig. Great drive from MJ Coupe. He's just done the job and then completely won it. Bit unlucky from Lance Stroll, because I think if he was on the soft tire, I think he would have been closer a little bit more. Whether that was going to be enough, I doubt it very much, but it would have been interesting to see what he would have done on that time. But my drive of the day will be Betrayer, because he was started in 16th, I believe, and he got to 5th again. So it's done a fantastic drive.
and
How about
with
you, Craig?
a very bold strategy. So a very bold strategy from Betrayer, and I would definitely agree with you for driver of the day.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I mean, Rossi, top no top four. That is still a good drive from him as well. Don't get me wrong, but I always look at more positions more. So I think Betrayer just nicked it because of his performance tonight, and obviously Rossi with his McLaren as well. Don't get me wrong, and everyone else, they've done a fantastic drive. Any more final comments from you, Craig, before we head off?
No, just thanks to everyone as always for joining us for tonight's race. We hope that you enjoyed tonight's Spanish Grand Prix. We hope that you continue to join us for next week's Brazilian Grand Prix as we move into the business end of the Invictus Racing League's season. Certainly any mistakes could rule you out effectively of a championship, and this is where you need to start turning the form on, and I'm sure we'll certainly see some drivers do that next season using the experience at their disposal, as well as our newer members continuing to impress. So thanks again to everyone, and we hope that you join us next week. Big thank you to all the drivers who participated in tonight's race, and we shall see you in Brazil.
See you later. Cheers for that, Craig.
See you later, guys. Take care.